A day trip to the beach goes horribly wrong when 15-year-old Khai Cowley is attacked by a shark whilst surfing with his father. Hit that like button and subscribe right now. This is the terrifying shark attack on Khai Cowley. Welcome to Final Affliction. For 15-year-old Khai Cowley, surfing was in his blood. He was a third-generation surfer at the Southern Adelaide Surf Club, and he certainly had a flair for the sport. He was drawn to the water since before he could walk, and joined the Micrograms Junior Surf Club at the age of 7. Riding the waves along Australia's coastline, there was no feeling like it. And although Khai enjoyed just about every other sport out there, from skateboarding and soccer to basketball and biking, surfing was his one true love. By the age of 10, he was competing for Seaview Roadboard Riders, one of the oldest clubs in Australia that was founded in 1964. His family were supportive of his surfing endeavors, and very soon their weekends were filled with road trips to various surfing competitions up and down the country. But it would be Khai's love and passion for the sport that would lead to tragedy when he was just 15 years old. The young rider hit the waves with his dad at Ethel Beach on the York Peninsula. Situated approximately 100 miles west of Adelaide, the surfing spot is considered one of the best in the state when the waves are right. Ethel's ledge provides surfers with challenging conditions, which excellent surfers like Khai relished. But on December 28, 2023, the surf wasn't very good at Ethel Beach. The sky was overcast and gray as they made their way down to the beach, but they were on a family holiday and had traveled all the way there from their home in Adelaide. They weren't going to turn back now. As Khai entered the water, a great white shark swam beneath the waves. It was on the hunt, an opportunistic feeder that continually scoured the oceans for its next meal. Sharks are more likely to attack people when skies are overcast, whether they feel bolder due to the poorer lighting concealing their approach, or whether visibility in the water is worse, therefore causing them to attack out of mistaken identity, is up for debate. But there was danger in the water that day, and Khai and his father were unaware that they were surfing their last waves together. As the afternoon wore on, Khai caught a few waves. Despite being only 15, he could surf bigger waves than his dad. He carved through the water effortlessly, enjoying the thrill of the ride. It was his happy place. But for his father, it was about so much more than the surfing. Spending time with his son, traveling for miles and miles to find the greatest surf spots, and to take Khai to all the surf competitions. It was the road trips that his father really cherished, the time he spent just chatting with his son in the car. But those days were about to come crashing down to a tragic and devastating end. It was now 1:30 in the afternoon. As Khai paddled back to beyond the breakers to catch another wave, the shark spotted him from below. Its eyes locked onto its target, a shadowy silhouette bobbing about on the surface. The shark's killer instinct kicked in, and it headed directly towards Khai. As it came closer, its mouth slightly agape, showing hundreds of sharp teeth, it powered through the water. Weighing more than 700 kilograms, 1,500 pounds, it struck Khai with such force that he was knocked from his board. The shark grabbed his leg and tugged him underwater. He gasped as he realized what was happening. In those first frantic moments, the young boy managed to cry out, alerting his father, who had just caught a wave to the rocks. When he turned back, he could see Khai thrashing about in the water. The shark had hold of him and was tearing into his leg, but Khai fought back. His father ran along the rocks, yelling at his son to swim to him. There was a tragic desperation in his voice, seeing his son in so much trouble, but being powerless to stop it. The shark briefly let go, and Khai made a dash for it. He tried to swim to his father, who was yards away, but the boy was fading. The shark had severed an artery, and he was losing blood at an incredible rate. The water turned red all around him. The energy was flowing out of him. He would have felt faint, and moments later he lost consciousness. Local surfer Tim Phillips saw the attack unfolding from the top of a cliff face. Hearing the cries of Khai's father, he turned and saw the boy was in trouble. He ran down to the sandy beach, grabbing a stranger's surfboard before diving into the water. He paddled furiously towards Khai with little regard for his own safety. As he reached Khai, he could see that he was unconscious, just floating on the surface of the ocean with his eyes closed. He then saw the terrifying dark shadow of the shark. It was still there. It was watching, and it was waiting for the moment to strike again. It had attacked its victim and was now waiting for its prey to bleed out before going back in for more. Tim grabbed Khai, but as he began to pull him through the water, the shark began circling the both of them. He estimated it to be a 13-foot-long great white. He immediately let go of Khai when he saw the shark coming for them. His heart was pounding now, and he realized just how much danger he had put himself in. He began to turn and head back for the beach, not wanting to get caught up in the imminent attack. But then he saw the shark swim away and head out towards the open water. Now was his chance to secure Khai on the surfboard and get him back to shore. He grabbed Khai once more and paddled back to the beach. He pulled him into the shallows, and those on dry land rushed in to help. The emergency services were called and arrived at the remote location shortly afterwards, but Khai lay limp on the beach. He didn't respond to CPR attempts. The shark's bite had been too powerful and too strong. In the seconds that it had taken to tear into the young surfer's leg, he had lost too much blood and sadly couldn't be revived. Khai was the third person to be attacked and killed by a shark in Australian waters that year. Back in May, schoolteacher Simon Baccanello disappeared after being attacked by a shark whilst surfing, and then in October, 55-year-old Todd Gendel lost his life to a shark attack. It was deeply concerning for so many fatal attacks to be happening that year. For Khai to have lost his life at only 15 was simply devastating for all who knew him, least of all his family. What he loved more than anything in the world, more than surfing, was his family. He had grown up surfing with his uncle, and he spent huge amounts of time with his younger brother, Jet, playing with him, fooling around and surfing with him. He was a genuine and kind-hearted soul that was popular both in and outside school. The surfing fraternity pulled together to support the family. Financial support was set up to help them through their time of grief. Their lives would never be the same again, but with the love and support from the local community and those in the surfing world, they could see a light at the end of the tunnel. An emotional memorial service was held for Khai on the beach at his favorite surf spot, Seaford Beach. His father bravely read out his obituary, showing just how proud he was of his son. He took some peace knowing that Khai literally lived life to the fullest and packed in as much as he could in his 15 years. He never had a dull moment. He was always on the go and having fun. Hundreds of surfers gathered in the sea to say a final farewell to the young surfer who still had so much to offer. Attending the service were Khai's friends from the Port Noarlunga Football Club and those from his school, Carden College. They swam out beyond the breaking waves and sat on their boards, forming a guard of honor in true surfing tradition. There they floated in one huge circle to remember the skilled surfer who will be sorely missed. In the middle of the circle were Khai's mom, dad, and younger brother Jet. They all then proceeded to chant Khai's favorite mantra, "Just one more wave, just one more wave." And just like that, the sea at Seaford, that had been calm all day, began to swell, and the waves began to grow. Perhaps Khai was listening after all, wishing his family and friends goodbye after his terrifying final affliction.